You're never going to be able to have a really happy, fulfilling, and successful life if the number one thing that you're striving for is not looking bad and not losing the things that you already have.
Before you lose the most powerful moments of your life, if your mindset about this does not shift, you will consistently hate your life.
Hey everybody, it's Bianca.
Welcome back, Evolvers. It's Emilia.
This is a topic I don't think we've ever done before. I don't think we've ever done a topic like this or in the realm of this. And this concept is something that I only recently, within the last year or so, learned and have really been focusing on. So many of us are living our lives kind of not believing that we have earned or deserved the things that we have. It's like, I got here by accident and I'm never going to be able to achieve more or have more. And so I need to do everything that I can to basically cling on to what I already have. And this isn't a conscious thought. Because if I were to go up to anyone and say, hey, do you deserve good things? Most people would be like, yeah, why not? But unconsciously, there's something there that's like, no, I don't. I don't like myself. I don't have good feelings about myself. I don't believe in myself that really good things are possible for me. It's like if I handed someone $1 million, would they be able to get $1 million again? It's like, no, because they don't know how. And so most of us don't believe that we're capable of much. We don't believe that we're deserving of more than we already have. And so we're basically playing this game of trying not to lose what we have and trying not to lose perception with other people. It's like, I don't want anyone knowing how bad it actually is. So I'm going to make everything look amazing, not let anybody know what's actually going on, and pray to God that nobody finds out. Now, nobody knows that everyone else is doing this, but unconsciously we all do. And yeah, we're all stuck in the matrix of this bullshit game that everybody is playing. And the only people that get out of it are people with high self-belief who are striving for more than what they currently have. I never knew what that was like until I met Emilia. I never met anyone who was like a super high achiever, who had high self-belief and knew where they were going and knew exactly how to get there. And even if they didn't know exactly how to get there, they knew that they would eventually. You've never played not to lose, meaning you were never living your life hoping that everything is going to work out and or trying to just keep what you already have. You were always like, how can I use this current moment to get me somewhere better, to take me somewhere else, to get me to have and be and do more. That's so fucking rare though. And that is not common at all. Genius filter as much as you can. Please
I'm over here sitting like,
keep
really?
this this to the ground freaking level, please, for the love of God.
I'll do my best. No promises.
Listen, I'll keep you on the rails. Don't worry.
Thank you.
How can people start to develop enough self-belief to where they don't have to be afraid of losing what they have and they can actually just opt out and strive to get and have and be and do more? Because again, I've never seen anyone other than Alan who did this in my life. Obviously there's achievers and whatever out there, but in my personal life, I've never seen someone do this, and I've never seen anyone do it as well as you guys do, just in general. Now I'm speaking. So
appreciate that. Yeah.
Super base level.
Gotcha.
Pretend like I'm an idiot, because I am. It's fine. How would we do this?
So, it's actually funny because I'll preface this. I never knew that this was a thing in the opposite end. I honestly, for a long majority of my life, hadn't realized how much I've been hoodwinked by people in
Mm.
like their narrative, right? That those people who, and again, I say those people not as a pathologizing. Like I have learned through this and I have so much compassion and I have so much empathy and so much love to those who find themselves in the experience that you've gone through, B. I just was ignorant and unaware to it because I didn't know how different I was in this. And so I hope I don't come off as pretentious or arrogant or any like that. I just really want to be vulnerable and authentic in this. I didn't know how much, because of for whatever reason, someone had to play more of the game of perception than they had to play to win. And I didn't realize how much, and this is where the empathy and compassion comes in. I hope everyone hears in my voice how much that's tied to deep, deep levels of low self-belief. And I didn't realize how pervasive that is until probably 4 years ago, as people, especially you being one of them, has really been willing to share with me how different I am in that, because I know growing up and throughout my entire adult life, people would say it, but they wouldn't be explicit in what that specifically was. And I get it, because like, how do you put, like, a lot of people don't know how to put that to words, right? Like they knew I was different, but they didn't know how to articulate it in a way that made sense to me. So anyways, playing to win, the way in which I imagined it is like, because I grew up playing soccer, you go on offense. You're just on offense all the time. You're trying to figure out how to have the ball hit that net, and that is your sole focus. When you're playing not to lose, I draw the parallel like you're playing defense all the time. You're just trying to have someone else not have their ball hit your net, for lack of
Right.
better words, right? And you've played soccer, so you understand that analogy. But for anyone that hasn't, like, I do think that it's a strong parallel. And I think that for the most part, even if you haven't played, it's that sense of when you're laser focused on a goal, you never lose sight of that. That's playing to win. But playing not to lose is your laser focus is far more on perception, not skill acquisition, not building self-efficacy, not actually learning where you suck. As a matter of fact, trying at all costs to avoid any area where your skill set is less than perceptively. Because what would that mean about you, right? And that goes to some really deep core beliefs about self that have been really hard for me to hear about how pervasive that has been for other people. So how do we start small was your question, right?
Yeah.
From someone who has spent their entire life conditioned and learned and observed and only known that way of how to, you just play to win. That's the only answer there is, kind of like sink or swim mentality. I can share from this end. And so I just want to precursor it with that. You laser focus in on something small, so seemingly small and insignificant that you desire, that you want. And it could be something as small as what you want to eat tonight. Laser focus in on what that is. And instead of having your focus be in on how maybe you're not the best chef, or maybe you don't know how to put together that meal, maybe it was something that you saw on Pinterest or whatever, try just a little bit to refocus on what the outcome could look like and feel like when, not if, but when you get there, when you achieve that, when you make that meal. It's not going to be perfect. And I think that that is embracing the messy action of building self-belief, but it's reframing and shifting the focal point to the end goal instead of your starting point. Does that make sense, B?
Mm.
So I'll give another example.
I
The gym. This is something that I'm doing with my client right now who when it comes to the gym, she does not have high levels of self-belief. And she's someone far more who's been conditioned and who has learned and taken part of playing not to lose. So she comes from that background. And when it comes to the gym, she's never really stepped foot in the gym. She's, a mom. She is, really struggling in her relationship, and she's trying to, we're building self-worth and self-belief in tandem. And going to the gym is really scary for her. And so her focus is on how does she just find the right clothes that make her not look to someone else's eye, not her actual body weight, for lack of better words, to use her words, not to look fat. And she's more focused on that than she is on focusing in on what it would feel like to be on the treadmill after you just walk in and just sit there.
think of someone who's going to spend money getting liposuction or Ozempic than someone who's going to go to the gym and actually work out and lose the weight and get strong. One person is just playing not to lose, meaning they just want to look good. They don't care what it costs. They don't care what's going to happen. They're just playing not to lose their sense of self of like, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of losing perception around other people. The person who's playing to win will have a healthy body for life because they're actually going and learning the skill and the habit of hard work. And that carries into everything else. It's one of the biggest reasons Emilia and I both will not get surgery done, like plastic surgery and everything.
For sure.
Like we
From
both
like
rock our crow's feet. We both like all the lines and all the stuff. Like my lighting right now is on another freaking level. I look so greasy. I'm not going to go in here and edit it. We're not going to edit this, like the photos and anything, because that's playing not to lose. If our primary concern was just looking good, this entire show would be drastically different. We make jokes all the time. All the time that we should, I mean, I'm not going to repeat what we say because that's not nice, but not nice for us. It's not against anybody, but like we say we should just do some wild stuff. We should just, do what everyone else does and Photoshop everything and pretend and lie and sell out.
Yeah.
We're not going
do the work.
We're not going to, because that we're not playing to keep perception because we're scared and we're scarce.
Right.
Think of like the movie Ice Age, the squirrel trying to chase the nut throughout the, like, that's like one of the core themes of the movie. When you're playing not to lose, it's like the squirrel chasing the nut. Great catastrophe is like happening behind the scenes and he doesn't care because he's just focused on like get the nut, don't lose. Even though there's like food all over here, he's just like, nope, I need this thing.
Right.
That's what happens when you play not to lose. You basically end up destroying your life because you're not actually creating anything. It's like freaking Spiegel with the ring. It's like, my precious. It's like you can't lose this thing. So you basically kill yourself trying to hold on to this thing for dear life rather than how do I go get better? How do I heal the shit within me that's terrified of being seen as less than? Because that's where this comes from. It's a fear of being perceived as not enough, as less than, as not having, not doing, not being, incapable, whatever. And I know because I lived that freaking life. Yeah. I was real good at it. I made everyone seem like I had my shit going for me. If you looked at Emilia versus I 6 years ago, you would have thought I was more successful than her because of my social media, because of the car that I was driving, because of my family and the way that we looked, all of these things. What you would never know is behind the scenes in real life. She was balling out. in every aspect of life, but you would never know. She was playing to win. I was playing not to lose. She's driving a rinky dink Prius with 6 figures cash liquid in her freaking bank account. And I had like $2,000 in my bank account that I was terrified of anybody touching and
Mm.
anyone going near because I didn't know how to make money.
Yeah.
But it looked like I had money and it looked like all of these things because I played the perception game really well. That's the difference. Emilia will be successful forever because she has those skills. I cultivated it because I was willing to say, honestly, fuck this. I'm spending more time trying to look good, and even though that I'm not, than actually becoming good. And
Mm.
that's the biggest distinction there. It it's self-worth. It's self-worth and self-belief. It's creating.
Let me talk
What?
to my girlies. Let me talk to my girlies out here that are listening to
Oh,
this.
she's about to let them know.
Because I've been having a lot of conversations with women of all different backgrounds, and the girlies, right? So what I mean, if you're a female, let's look at our bank account statements and the things that we've put in as quote unquote vanity elements. And what I'll say vanity is anything to try to make sure that you're playing not to lose someone else's perception. So like this is not adding you for shame. This is just an exercise that I'll do with some of my girlies. Okay. Let's look at your bank statements and please dust them off because I'm sure we haven't been looking at them. First of all, I see you, I hear you. And again, this
Take
is no
the
shame,
app
no
out of the
stress.
hidden file on your phone.
Let's dust that off. Let's bring that back into the fold. Yes, this
That's
is where
mad
the
funny.
things happen. Let's see how much you're willing to spend on your Starbucks, your fake nails, your lips, your this, your that, your everything. And then let's take a look at who is profiting from that in contrast to where you would otherwise invest that capital to where it's going to give back forever. When we look at it from like let's just talk about a lipstick. I used to love, random fun fact, I used to love the smell of like L'Oreal lipstick. I think my mom used to wear it, right? You spend $8 on that one lipstick that'll last you so long. What if you spent that same amount of money or you saved that and you reinvested in skill sets to learn how to be a moneymaker, how to be a businesswoman, how to be a leader in this world, skills that are actually transferable, how to navigate your central nervous system so that it isn't the next lipstick or the next shoes or the next purse or the next whatever that is going to help you feel better about you. And again, I'm not adding any girlies who are making those investments because trust me, I know sometimes I'm right there too. Like sometimes it does, right? You do want to treat yourself. And same thing to my guys, right? My guys, I have had far too many conversations where my dudes out there were just burning capital to try to chase the next feeling, just like be your analogy with that squirrel in Ice Age, trying to chase the next thing, the next guitar, the next video game, the next bar night cruise, the next sunset vacation spot with all my guy friends, the next playoffs, the next whatever, right? Like there's so many things that can engulf you to be this thing that is the next quick fix. That's playing not to lose, not playing to win, because you're not being strategic about how you're spending your time, energy, and money. And I think one of the biggest things, the applications of this is when you don't know yourself, right? If you're playing not to lose and you enter in a relationship, let's say your partner is someone who's playing to win. What happens there? There's some friction. There's some frustration. There's some agitation because here your partner is laser focused on his or her goals. And here you are only caring about perception. So you guys go ahead and get into this car. She's trying to go to, some science museum or whatever. And you're, wait a second, got to make sure that my jersey's all nice. big difference. That's going to bring friction down the road. And so whether this is in intimate relationships or whether this is in your teams and careers and you're a leader and you're looking at yourself because you have 9 team members that you don't know what the heck to do with because you've never led a team of 9 or a team of 20 before, and you're so fearful of losing perception of your boss's boss out of fear that you're not going to get the next promotion. Now you're shifting gears from playing to win when you were an individual and an individual contributor. Now you're shifting gears to play not to lose. That has severe implications on how you show up in the world.
We are not saying do not get yourself nice things. We are not saying do not do nice things for yourself. Emilia and I treat ourselves all the freaking time.
Oh,
but that's not our not our
food.
primary objective. It's not the primary objective. Mm-hmm. Most people spend their entire life trying to look and feel good right now, currently in the moment. That is playing not to lose.
Without concern for the future.
With no concern for the future. Instead, if you focus on getting better, you will inevitably get all of these things you want as a byproduct. It's like someone going on a 30-day fast because they're going on vacation versus someone who exercises every single day. And if a vacation pops up, they already know they're going to look good and they don't have to do anything because of the investment that they made in themselves.
Right. Yeah.
If you focus more on getting better rather than looking better, your entire life is going to be better. Like, I spent so much fucking money on a car that I had no business buying a couple of years ago because I wanted to look good. Now I could buy literally whatever car I wanted and I won't do it because I don't care. Because I don't care is why I can do it. Because I've put a ton of time and energy and money into building myself into the type of person that could go get that. The amount of money that I spend investing in myself every single month, you guys, it would blow your mind. It would blow your mind. I could literally rent a second apartment in Boston with the amount of money that I spend every month on investing and coaching. Like a nice apartment too. Mm-hmm. I allocate my time, energy, and money on things that are going to make me better. I am trying to play to win. I'm not like Emilia, but I'm trying. And if I can do it, you sure as shit can too. Because not for nothing, I kind of was dumb back in the day. And I don't say that as an
at one point.
Emilia, you are not dumb. Stop talking.
Dumb, naked, and afraid.
You might have been naked and afraid. Oh, okay. No, I was. And if you're listening to this, you're probably very similar to me. And that's okay. These are skill sets. Everything we talk about on this show is a skill, and skills can be learned through time and effort and money. I had a client when I first started doing this work. She came to me and she's like, I can't afford your therapy. I'm like, it's $50 a session and you work. Why can't you afford it? We looked at her account. She was spending $1,000 a month on bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Her nails, coffee, shopping every single week, going to dinner 3 to 4 times a week. We're all doing this. Mm-hmm. We're all doing this. We're spending money on unnecessary things and then saying, I can't do it. I'm not shaming anybody. I've done it too. I've spent stupid amounts of money. If I didn't spend the stupid money that I spent in my lifetime, no joking, I would have $1 million in my bank account. I've calculated it. It's brutal. I would literally have $1 million in my bank account. Now, I'm trying to get there. No, I'm just kidding. I am trying to get there, though.
She's on her way.
Eventually, it will happen. I'm certain of it because of the choices I'm making today. I'm taking care of myself in the ways that are necessary so that I can invest into becoming better. And when I become better, I'll be able to have all of the things that people want. And it's possible for you too. Sorry.
I'm so sorry. It definitely is possible for you.
My dramatic pauses.
No, that was good. It's definitely possible.
You gotta do it for the plot.
Oh, it's such a paradox. And I'll close on this note. Like, it's so fascinating because some people might hear this episode and get triggered and or get defensive or get pissed off because this is the mirror, right?
Good.
I can't tell people enough, you know, the people that I have worked with who have turned back to me on conversations like this and said, thank you so much for holding this mirror, because I didn't realize how much, you know, these years, baby, we don't get back. This is a critical time in your life, wherever you are in your life. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you're not shifting this about your mindset, or at least you're not becoming aware of which one you tend to fall in, which camp your tendency and your learned behaviors have been in, you won't know where to build your skill set, right? So for me, for example, playing to win, the skill set has been very different for me, which has looked like getting really good at learning who's bullshitting and who's trying to trick me into them being far more capable and competent than they actually are. That's a skill set I've had to learn because I've gotten so wildly hoodwinked by people because I want to believe that they're so much better than they are. And they sure as hell don't want me to know that they're lacking massive skill in that. But if you're playing not to lose and you're now aware of that, your skill set is going to be wildly different than someone who's playing to win. And either way, they're both massively important to get a baseline foundation of where you're at. And then you can look at where do you want to be and build the skill set to get there, right? And all of us have a different way in which we go about doing that. But to not examine that, I do know you're not going to get back these years. And these are the building years. Wherever you are, these are the building years. If you're listening to this, you're in a season of building. And so my suggestion, if you like this episode, head over to the 321 episode, or rather 321st, Motivation Monday. It's okay not to know. We get so tripped up in the fact that, you know, we think we're supposed to know how to navigate this life. Man, I'll tell you what, a lot of people are winging it, and you're not going to be the only one. So have humility, get a baseline, and figure out which one you're in.
The unexamined life is not worth living.
Oh,
I
Marcus
wholeheartedly
Aurelius?
believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that.
I agree. I'm right there.
3 minus 320. Are you a perfectionist?
Nice.
This episode is not to make anybody feel bad. It's just to hold a mirror. And if you listen to this show, it's because there is a part of you that wants that mirror held. And like I said, I've been there too. I know exactly what it's like. And I got out of it. I'm not perfect. I still want to look good. But it's not the primary thing driving my decisions. You can get there too. And if that's something that you want, please send us a DM, reach out, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.